What happens when you cut back? Are there going to be fewer cantaloupe? Are there going to be more expensive cantaloupe? How does that reflect itself down the line to the people who are going to go shopping in the grocery stores?
Probably both. Probably going to be fewer cantaloupes, and they're probably going to be more expensive. Yeah.
Now, has this affected all of your crops the same way? I mean, you're either having to cut back or discontinue everything.
That's correct. All of the annual crops, that is crops that are planted in the spring and harvested in the summer or the fall, have been impacted. Those we cut back to try to save the crops that are permanent crops that are here for years. Like for instance, our asparagus. Our asparagus is good for around 10 years or 12 years. And last year we had to take out half of our asparagus, and we kept the youngest, more productive
Perfectly
asparagus.
good plants you had to take out.
That's correct. They were still productive plants. We took them out. If you look at this field, we're going to water here tonight, and you will not see a drop of water tomorrow.
It's all drip irrigation, isn't it?
It's all drip irrigation. Under every row, a foot below the plant, is a drip hose, and it puts on drop by drop. We know exactly how much we're going to give that plant.
And isn't it interesting, in this situation in California agriculture today, every single drop counts.
Absolutely, and nothing is wasted out here. There is not a drop wasted. Everything is going right into the root zone of the plant. Nothing evaporates, nothing runs off the farm, nothing, goes anywhere. It's all right there in the plant. We can't get any more efficient than that.
Okay, now we're hooking up with Mayor Silva from the town of Mendota, and Mendota is here in the western part of Fresno County. We've been visiting lots of farms today. We've seen the impact this lack of water has had on the growing of commodities here in Fresno County. You see it from another angle here in this city, don't you?
I surely do. In the last couple of years, it's been an impact that's been hit us so hard that we cannot believe what's happened. Basically what it is that because of the water cutbacks here in western Fresno County, because Weston's water district sits in our backyard and they got a 10% allocation, it affected our community and all the communities in the west side.
In what kind of way? What's your unemployment, for example?
Well, we're nothing to brag about, but in May it went up to 42%, okay? Right now, because things are kicking in, we're at 38%.
38% unemployment. Because this is an agricultural community.
Exactly. It's something that you never hear about. Normally this time of year, people are working. Everybody's working. Mom, dad, the kids are working, and it's driving the unemployment rate way down. But because what's happened the last couple of years, the unemployment has stayed high because of the water cutbacks.
You had a big march here.
We certainly did, and it was something that was planned, something that we didn't know how big it was going to be. But talking to people all over Fresno County, they supported this march because it was a water awareness and just show the rest of California what it meant to our communities.
How many people?
Roughly, they talked about over close to 8,000 people.
Marching down the road in not good conditions.
One of the lousiest conditions in many months. It was a blizzard type, so we had to go over rough terrain. We had to go hit the wind, the dirt in our faces. A lot of people got sick, but you know what? The determination of the people that they wanted to complete the march to show the rest of the state of California this is very, very serious.
Well, now I'm getting depressed again, looking at this low water level. I'm standing here with two fellows who represent two of the major water agencies in Fresno, from the western side of the county to the eastern side of the county. Let everybody know where we're standing right now.
We're standing over the San Luis Reservoir. It's the largest off-stream reservoir in the nation.
And it's pretty empty right now.
It's supposed to hold about 2 million acre feet, and there's about 300,000 acre feet in there right now.
So it's way less than half full.
Lowest it's ever been on record this time of year.
Lowest on record?
Lowest on record this time of year.
Now, why is it so low?
It's low because of successive droughts, but mostly this year it's low because of limitations on the pumping through the delta, which is where the water comes from that fills this reservoir and then goes on to feed farms and communities all the way down to Southern California.
Now, when you talk about limitations on the Delta, where these are environmental restrictions that have been put on the pumping of the water out the Delta, most people in Southern California especially don't even understand the Delta, aren't even sure what you're talking about when you say the Delta.
Well, 2/3 of the water is in the northern part of the state, and 2/3 of the people are in the southern part, and most of that has to work its way around the Delta, which is a very environmentally sensitive area. Has had some challenges with some of the fish populations. The pumps have been the target of trying to fix the environment, even though we know there's a lot of other factors out there. Exotic species, effluent in the system, temperature changes, all those type of things. But the pumps have been what have been turned off and targeted, which is the reason that this reservoir is so low and why the water supplies are so low in the San Joaquin Valley.
I tell you, it is a huge problem to educate the populace in the state, get them to understand the water dynamics. Water no longer comes out of the faucet.
That's where people think it comes from.
Absolutely. It's easy to get that misimpression. I took a shower this morning and I saw it with my own eyes. The truth is, most of the state's water is in the northern part of the state, the northern third of the state. And we can't shut it down without shutting down the state's economy.
That's not making me feel any better.
It's not making anybody feel any better.
Well, the real fix is big infrastructure we should have started 10 years ago. Reliable conveyance through the Delta, fixing the Delta in an environmentally friendly manner, and then we have wet year supplies that we can move when the environment says it's okay to move those supplies, have a place to park it.
Right here we could park
Here we could park it, exactly. And there are other reservoirs that can be built in an environmentally friendly manner to move wet year water, and then the dry years we all have reserves to pull upon, including the environment. And that's what we've really been pushing, a comprehensive solution, and there's just still a lot of resistance out there from people who don't quite see it.
As long as I can turn on my water tap in LA and water is going to come out, and it's cheaper than gas, a lot cheaper, I'm not going to be worried.
It's time to be worried.
Well, that's it. Our day here in the San Joaquin Valley, specifically in Fresno County, which has the distinction of being the most productive agricultural county anywhere in the entire United States. And of course, agriculture is still king as far as the California economy is concerned. But there are problems. We have seen the problems firsthand. We have met the people who are directly affected by this water shortage. We are in a water crisis here in California, a crisis which will spread from the San Joaquin Valley all over our entire state and end up affecting every single one of us who call California home. The good news is this crisis, Californians have always been good at rising to the challenge and solving our problems. And this is a big problem, but together we can solve this water problem and have a bright future ahead for all of us. We're ending up right here. This says it all. This huge field, which is fallow, it is dry, it is dusty. Off here to the right, you see some homes off in the distance filled with families who are out of work because they make their living in agriculture. It's a crisis, it's a challenge that should bring forth the best and the most creative solutions from all of us. Remember, it's all about California, it's all about the water in California.
The Association of California Water Agencies is pleased to support California's Water on behalf of its 440 public water agency members who deliver high-quality water to California's homes, farms, and industries. For additional information about California's water, visit www.acwa.com. Additional support for this program was provided by the California Latino Water Coalition,